Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Throwback 2000 franchise mode with the Nashville Predators. So in last episode, we had the draft and re-sign stage, and I'd say we had an okay draft. Obviously, things fell off a bit after my created players, but we did manage to draft a young Scott Hartnell, which should drop into our lineup this coming season, which is exciting. So he's a 79 overall. Hopefully, he could develop relatively decently for this team. We also went ahead and drafted a lot of other former players, including Ramsey Abid, who actually played with the Nashville Predators. We also drafted Jared Smithson, who played with the Predators. Travis Moen, who never played for the Preds, but decent bottom six option with some grit. Also Brooks Warpick, who likes to hit. Nathan Robinson, who briefly played in the NHL, more of an AHL type of guy. Thomas Kopecky as well, which is kind of a nice little steal there. Hopefully he develops. And then goaltending-wise, we drafted Dan Ellis, former Predator as well. The only thing that kind of sucks about him is he's already 20 years old, so he doesn't have a huge window of opportunity, or if he does make the NHL, he's going to be much older when he does so. So very excited to see how those prospects develop, and hopefully some of them make our roster down the road. Now we're going into free agency looking to pretty much not make any major additions to this team, because we're obviously trying to still not be a good team for these early stages of franchise mode. So we probably won't sign too much in this episode in free agency. We'll more take a look at what AI is signing and stuff like that. But right now at the moment we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we have a 13th with Mowers, 14th with Cote, and then there's Mike Watt. Technically, I would like to get Mike Watt into the lineup this season, but I don't know if I'll be able to. He is already 24, and he's only a 77 with high bottom 6 potential. He might not develop much more than a 77. I would like to use him in the lineup, though, which means technically, in a sense, we'd be having to maybe move out either Mowers or Robitaille, which is something we could do during the season, technically. So I might not even make any off-season free agent signings for forwards. For defensemen, we definitely could sign a defender, though, I think. Vopot could be technically our 6th defenseman if we really want to. However, we could sign another defenseman, too, just for fun. I'll take a look at what's out there again, just because I honestly forget, even though it's only been a couple days since I recorded. Goaltending-wise, we're in a little bit of a weird state. We have Dunham and Vokoun. DiPietro would be the AHL starter. Chris Mason should technically be our NHL backup next season, in my opinion, at least. So I think we might honestly try and trade away Mike Dunham in this episode. Yeah, because I think I want to get Chris Mason at least sometime in the NHL, because obviously DiPietro is going to be probably the backup for Vokoun within a season. So giving Chris Mason at least some taste of NHL action would be probably a good thing for our team. So yeah, I think I'm going to try and trade Mike Dunham in this episode. And then everything else is probably going to stay pretty much the same. Because we only have 43 out of 50 contracts, so we don't have a ton of contract space anyways. So yeah, we might bring in a defenseman if there's anything intriguing. Maybe just a depth defenseman, to be honest. Or we could use Vopot as a depth defenseman, either or. And then we could just trade Dunham and bring in Mason as our backup. Because I think DiPietro as an AHL starter for 1 year would probably be beneficial for his growth in the future of his career. So yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, let's get in your guys' comments now and see what you guys have to say about last episode, and then we'll get into free agency and starting up a little bit of year number 2. So the first comment is from Jared the Rabbit, who says, not only did Winchester actually play for the Stars in 07-08, but Vernon bookended his career in Calgary, being a part of the 1989 team as well. And yeah, it's kind of interesting that Mike Vernon ended up getting dealt to the Calgary Flames, I think it was. And then also about Winchester playing with the Stars is pretty neat. Obviously, he wasn't really there too long, but it's pretty neat that he ended up actually playing for that Dallas Stars team way down the line, I guess you could say. The next comment is from Shankly Mania, who says, well, you don't know Hartnell, but I myself grew up next door to Tiemann, and I think my little brother even has a Preds jersey somewhere. A legend in my hometown and a cool dude in every way. Next season could/should be another tank. The depth needs some work, so cool to see how the future drafts go. Thumbs up. And that's really cool that you grew up next door to Tiemann, and so that means Kuopio, Finland, right? I think, off the top of my head. That's pretty neat. I don't think there's any NHLers that live even remotely close to where I live. Like, some of them probably live out in, like, Canada and stuff like that, like closer to Canadian Tire Center. But, yeah, I don't think there's any that live in this little area of Ottawa that I live in. So, that's kind of kind of sucks, but at the same time, it's kind of cool because for others, like random things, I think I mentioned this way back, and I've mentioned this a couple times. Steve Eiserman actually went to the 3 schools I went to, though, as a kid. So he went to my public school, my middle school, and my high school. And that's probably the coolest NHL connection I have because my uncle played like football with his brother and stuff like that. So that's my coolest connection. Obviously not as cool as Kimmo Timonen being living next door. The next comment is from Flame Husky, who says, I'd move out Dunham too. Vokun should start in DP as backup. And I don't think DiPietro will be the backup, even though he technically is better than Mason at the moment. But yeah, moving out Dunham, I think, is definitely something that we should do, considering he is a pending UFA at the end of this season coming up. So. And the last and final comment is from Michael Dose, who says, when will the salary cap kick in here? And technically it would kick in 2005-06, but I'm pretty certain there's no way you could turn on salary cap mid-franchise mode, unfortunately. So if we wanted to actually play with the salary cap, we'd probably have to... I don't even know exactly what we'd have to do, because there's no way that these players are going to be demanding basically what the players were actually demanding back in the day, my guess. So I don't think there's any way we could actually play technically like with the salary cap. But it would be neat if there was a way to turn on the salary cap mid-mode and have it start with no salary cap. Because obviously we're going into the 2001 season, which means in a couple years after that, there should be a salary cap. But that would be after the lockout, which obviously will be interesting to see what happens in that lockout season when we get to 04-05 and see what team technically should have won the cup in 04-05. Because in real life, obviously, it was probably the Ottawa Senators, but who knows at this rate. So anyways, there is that. Let's get to trading Mike Dunham, I guess, first, and then we'll take a look and see what there is for defenders. We'll probably sign at least one defenseman. Everything else, I think, I'll let the AI sign because I'll be interested to see who goes where in free agency. Like, that's going to be the most fun part about these off-season episodes, is just seeing what the AI decide to do in terms of, like, decisions and trades and all that stuff, right? So let's go find trade and see what the AI will throw to us for Mike Dunham potentially here. Or we'll look for a trade on our own. Let's see. Open trading block. So the Atlanta Thrashers, a 6th and a 7th round pick. That is a really bad deal. They're literally getting a starting goaltender for 2 late picks. Wow. I mean, I could take in a forward, I guess, if I want to. But a 6th and a 7th round pick doesn't really mean shit. Bill Lindsay, 6 and a 7th, 6 and a 7th, 6 and a 7th. Wow, the going rate for Thomas Vokun, or not for Thomas Vokun, for Mike Dunham is trash. Like, I'd honestly rather hold on to him almost maybe until the deadline, but at the same time we have, I would have to scratch like Lassick in the AHL. Do I hold on to him to start the season because of that valuation? Like, do you think his trade value will go up halfway through the season? That's a really weird dilemma. I mean, it's either that or I trade Chris Mason, but what's Chris Mason going to fetch me? Some low top 9. Shane Willis. Huh, that's kind of surprising. Another low 9 there, a bottom 6. Yeah, not really the most potential in the world. Ivan Novoseltsev, Tyler Bouk, Booth, Koroluk. Yeah, this is a weird scenario. Like I said, I want to get Mason into the NHL, so I think I must have to deal Dunham, but I don't know why they're trying to offer me only 6th and 7th round picks. Like, that seems like a really low valuation in my opinion. Like, I thought I was going to be able to get like a 4th or a 3rd round pick, but oh well. I guess we'll maybe should we trade him for Bill Lindsay? Do we need a forward? Not really, right? Unless we wanted to upgrade our forward group. But yeah, I could add somebody else to this trade potentially too, because we were saying we want to get like Mike Watt maybe in the lineup, which means somebody like Robitaille could be on his way out. Robitaille and Mowers. Probably Robitaille though, just because his value is a little bit higher. But he is younger than Mowers too. But we do have a lot of centers and stuff like that, so let's add Robitaille to this deal. See what I could get for Robitaille and Dunham. See if that helps the valuation a little bit more. A 3rd and a 6th round pick, okay. A 3rd and a 5th round pick, a 3rd and a 6th, and a 3rd and a 6th. So probably this one would make the most sense. So that's for 2026. We're going into 2024-25, which means those would be 2002 picks, I think. Trying to remember how good the 2002 draft was. I know obviously it's not as good as 03, but it's better than 2001. I think I'm going to do this trade. Dunham and Robitaille getting dealt to Chicago. We get back a 3rd and a 5th round pick. That way Mike Watt could get into the lineup, and also Chris Mason. It does make us worse, obviously, but like I said before, we are trying to not be a good team. Obviously, we're trading within the division, but those guys could be free agents by the time the Chicago Blackhawks actually do something. So let's accept trade and take in some picks. There you go. So we've made our first trade of the offseason. A little bit of a weird one, but I had to kind of add something like that just to get a 3rd round pick because I didn't want to take in a 6th and a 7th only for Mike Dunham. Apparently he was a quality player, so a little bit of a morale crisis with the team, but yeah, Mason will be the backup next season. DiPietro will play in the AHL likely with Jan Lasic. And then obviously we hope that Dan Ellis and Finley could get to the AHL at some point. They're not going to grow into much, I don't think, but who knows, maybe they will. Okay, so that was the trade. We are going to sign ourselves 1 defender now, and then I think we'll take a look, obviously, at what AI is signing free agency-wise and stuff like that. Now, the question is, do we need a new coach? Do we need a new coach with this team? Actually, I could break to the start of next season, maybe. Actually, this guy's got a 68%. That's actually a really good team fit, so never mind on the coach. Never mind on that. Scout-wise, technically, I could fire all of my scouts or reassign them. Yeah, I might reassign some of them at the start of the season. Alright, so coaches is good and all that stuff. So yeah, let's find ourselves a defenseman that could play on our top 6, and I'll probably end up using Vopot as a 7th D-man. Obviously, we're not going to go for Sergei Zubov, though. Even though that would be cool to have Sergei Zubov, it doesn't make sense for the point where our team is right now. So what do we want here? A top 6 defenseman. There is, though, like Patrick Traverse, who's kind of intriguing because he's only 26. 2 teams are interested in him, though. Doesn't really bring the offense that you'd expect. He's minus 15 in the regular season, minus 1 in the playoffs. So his defense kind of lackluster a little bit. Does have some good offensive attributes, but Matthias Demander is intriguing, actually. You know what? Yeah, Demander would probably be the perfect one. He didn't really get to play a lot of games last year with Boston. They used him as a depth defenseman. Yeah, you know what? We'll probably bring him in as a top 6 D-man. How good does he fit our system? We don't know, obviously. Yeah, I think Demander's the guy. So we'll bring in Matthias Demander as our defenseman. And you know what? We'll give him a 2-year deal at what he's asking for, to be honest, because he's only 26. It gives us time to trade him away if we need to. I think that's a good little, like, kind of stopgap type player. Alright, so there is that. Let's take a look at what ends up happening free agency-wise, because I don't think there's anything else I really want to go for. So it's going to be a little bit of an uneventful offseason for us, but I'm very excited to see what the AI starts signing, because obviously it'll be cool to see if any players go to teams that they played for or teams that they maybe never would have played for. Let's advance a few days and see if Demander accepts, which more than likely he will, because we were the only offer. Yep, there we go. Matthias Demander will be our top 6 defenseman. Excited for that. Let's go to the end of the month, so to the 31st, and see what free agent signings happen in the month of July. There's a trade. Okay, cool, an off-season trade. Like to see those. Yuri Sliger has been dealt to the Boston Bruins, where he actually played in real life for a little bit. For a 2nd and a 3rd round pick, Jim Dowd and Mikko Eloranta. Interesting trade. Good for the Bruins to bolster their defense a little bit better. And Pittsburgh basically just gets a couple picks, and they also take on some younger guys. So that's a decent trade. It's not bad. So Pittsburgh offloading some stuff. I'm not going to make any trades this offseason, so I'm not going to really answer any of these unless they're intriguing. I'm not giving up 2 second-round picks. It looks like Pittsburgh's having a bit of a fire sale this offseason. So that's intriguing. They know that, like, if I technically had the 05 draft in this, they know that Crosby would be in this, but he's not. A 2nd-round pick for a 3rd-round pick in Igor Ulanov. So I moved back in a draft the year afterwards, but I get Igor Ulanov. Don't really need Igor Ulanov, but not a bad deal in terms of what they're offering me. All right, let's take a look at the free agent signings for the month of July. Anything crazy in terms of transactions and stuff? We'll go to trades first. All right, there's been a lot more offseason trades. So San Jose acquires a 5th-round pick and some prospect that's generated for Stefan Matteau and Ron Sutter, so Toronto loading up on a couple of veterans. Ottawa's acquired a 6th-round pick in Derek Plant from Los Angeles for a 3rd, and Ivan Chernik. So Ivan Chernik is a prospect, a third-round pick. So LA kind of offloading a veteran in Derek Plant. Calgary acquires a third-rounder, a fourth-rounder, and Ozzy Vananen from Arizona, so Phoenix, for a third-rounder and Bill Lindsay. So Phoenix making an interesting move there. Calgary getting a nice defenseman, Vananen. And we saw about the Slager trade. There was also Alexander Karpovtsev, who got dealt the day before to Tampa Bay for Pittsburgh. Wasn't he a free agent? Because I think I remember somebody mentioning him. Yeah, I thought I saw if he was in free agency before. So I don't know. Maybe he was signed by the Penguins and then dealt right away, which would be kind of dumb. Atlanta's acquired Mark Biro from Calgary for a third and a sixth. And obviously there's our Mike Dunham trade. Okay. Signing wise, do we got anything crazy? I will not probably look at every single one of these. I'll look through them, but I'm not going to read out every single one of them because or else my voice is just going to completely die. But if you guys see anything intriguing that I miss, let me know because I'm always open to obviously talking about it in next episode. Andy Sutton signed a 3-year contract with the Atlanta Thrashers, so that's a realistic one. He started this, I think, off in San Jose, right? So he went to a team he actually played for, so that's kind of cool. Anything else that's kind of surprising here? Let's see. Garpenlov went to Atlanta, but I think he was already in Atlanta to start the series. What else we got here? Bill Ranford to the Rangers. All right. Dwayne Rollison and Mark Fitzpatrick and Ken Reggett all signed with the Mighty Ducks. So apparently Anaheim's loading up on goalies, which is kind of weird. Thomas Sandstrom to St. Louis. Pavelka also to Anaheim. A lot of goalies signing players. Or teams signing goalies. Bob Essenza signs in Detroit, which I think he actually played for. Robbie Tallis as well. All right. Olinica, Passmore. Zalapsky signs with Phoenix. Benoit Hogue with Pittsburgh. Okay. Jamie Hewitt to the Canucks. Yeah, see, LA signed Derek Plant and then traded him to Ottawa. I hate when teams just sign players and then they deal them right away. It's kind of weird. Buffalo signs Pat Falloon. Speaking of Pat Falloon, congrats Sharks fans on the first overall selection this year. With Macklin Celebrini. Tyler Wright to Ottawa. Philadelphia signed Ulf Samuelsson. I don't think he started in Philadelphia in this, so he might have actually signed with the team he played for. Wendell Clark in Buffalo. Interesting there. What else we got for free agent signings? I'm not seeing any huge names. Dave Manson signs with the Ducks. That's actually kind of cool considering Josh Manson played for the Ducks. Interesting. Zelapukin to Toronto. Mike Weaver to LA, which I'm pretty sure he actually played for at one point. Ed Olchuk to the Devils. Shane Corson to Dallas. He actually played there. That's cool. Marcus Regnerson was already in San Jose. Wes Walls to Edmonton. Brian Pothier to LA. Garth Snow to Carolina. Manny Fernandez to the Canucks. Nice pickup. Mikhail Renberg to Washington. Guy Carbonneau to Edmonton. Mike Vernon does get a 2-year contract from the Flames, so he does go to the team he actually played for, so that's really cool. Paul Coffey to St. Louis. That's an interesting one. What else we got here? Zubov was back to Pittsburgh on a 6-year deal. So Sergei Zubov, even though he was in Dallas to start the series, goes back to a team he played for in his career. And that's a very nice pickup for them. That's a very nice pickup, because imagine Zubov playing with Yager. Unfortunately, Lemieux's not in this, but that would have been sick too. Nicely done, Pittsburgh. Great signing. Obviously, we signed Tamander, Van Allen to Carolina, Bombardier to New York, Ellett to Vancouver. Anything else intriguing? There's Karpovtsev signing to Pittsburgh, as I thought he would. Roman Cechmanek to the Islanders. Gary Galley goes back to Philadelphia, where he played. Kovalenko signs in Carolina. I don't know if he started this in Carolina. I feel like he did, but honestly don't remember. Ron Tugnutt to Atlanta. We've already seen Groshek in Chicago all the time, so he just must have re-signed there. I think he was an RFA. Anything else? Greg Adams, Ottawa, and Holinka to Montreal. Okay. So not anything huge in terms of signings other than that Zubov deal. I'm curious on what Sergei Zubov's getting paid, so we're going to take a look at that for fun. But I don't think I'm going to look at the free agent signings in August. I'm going to look at see if there's been any trades in August, but I don't think there's going to be anything crazy free agency-wise still available. But I'll double-check just to make sure. And Sergei Zubov is now the highest-paid Pittsburgh Penguin, and he's on a very nice deal, going for like 6 years. So that's a pretty nice addition considering the rest of their defensive core is kind of mid. So great pickup by the Penguins. I don't know why they got rid of Sliger then, but it is what it is. Let's take a look and see if there's any good free agents still available or not that are worth looking and seeing if they sign anywhere. There's some okay players, but nothing insane. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to look at free agent signings for the month of August, just because these guys are just kind of depth options. Okay, so there is that. Let's continue simulating to the starts of year number 2, and then we'll get our lineup set up and see what we're rocking with for the start of the 2001 season. And like I said, we'll probably simulate a little bit in this episode, but not too much, because obviously we're gonna kind of take it a little bit slower, not to rush through these seasons, and see what ends up happening. So we'll probably do the season in 3 parts again, like last season we did. No, I'm not trading for roster players here, guys. I'm not trying to contend, so thank you for those offers, but no thank you. Okay, let's see what we got for our lineup for the season. So we should have some good injection of younger guys into the lineup. So Scott Hartnell, Ladislav Nagy, a couple other guys probably as well. So starting off goalie-wise, DiPietro, you're going back down, unfortunately. Chris Mason jumped to a 78, so that was a smart move by us to make that decision. He is still listed as a minor starting goalie, but I would rather him in the NHL than DiPietro right now. So it'll be DiPietro, Lassick in the AHL, Vokun and Mason in the NHL. Defensively, we've got Tiemann and Scratchtons, Berehowski, Tamander, Miller, and Lintner. We need our 7th defenseman, which is going to be... Actually, we could use Rory Fitzpatrick. Yeah, we'll use Rory Fitzpatrick, because then technically at this point in time, I believe Vopot never played an NHL game again. So we'll use Rory Fitzpatrick as our depth defenseman this season. So there is our 7 defenders. Forward-wise, we got 1, 2... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So likely as a depth option, we'll use Mark Mowers' depth and also Patrick Cote, which means we got ourselves our full roster. So I think I made some smart enough moves. Let's see what we're rocking with for the start of 2001. Apparently they signed me a random AHL guy because of that roster move, but oh well. Let's see here. Who's scratched at the moment? Cote and Pelton. And obviously I don't want Pelton scratched, so we are going to scratch Mark Mowers instead. Just because Mark Mowers is not really a huge NHL name. So I will scratch him and get Ville Pelton in. And let's readjust our lineup here. So Nagy jumped to an 83 after 1 season, which is pretty impressive. So it'll be him, Johnson, and Walker. Hartnell could play on the 3rd line with Legwand and Andreas Janssen, I think. We have a lot of left wingers. Kind of a log jam. And also a lot of centers. Not as much right wingers. Bordelot is still very good on faceoff, so he should definitely be down the middle. Legwand's not a great faceoff guy, to be honest. Let me take a look at these options here. Legwand's listed still as a depth forward. That's not ideal. So if I did something, I could go like this. So Hartnell, Watt, Johansson, Pelton, and Bordelot, Legwand. Actually, wait. Maybe something like that would be better. Yeah, we'll probably run something like that. I don't like that Legwand's not really... Like, he still has a depth forward, which is not great. So hopefully he develops a bit more this season. I am going to obviously have him, Hartnell, Nagy, the younger guys on the power play to help them get some development. From a defensive standpoint, we probably will run something like that. I don't know why Fitzpatrick's in over Craig Miller, but we could use Craig Miller as a depth defender instead. Just because of the right-handedness. Yeah, you know what? That's okay, I think. Goalie-wise, Thomas McCoon, Chris Mason. Yeah, that looks good. Let's just go to the power play lines. Make sure the younger guys are getting some power play time. So Hartnell with Greg Johnson and Nagy. Tiemann and Berehowski, I don't mind that. Second unit has right now Janssen, Walker, Fitzgerald, Yashmana. Valachevic is going to come out. I do like Rob Valachevic, but we do need to get him out, unfortunately, because I do need to get Legwand some power play time. I think that's absolutely imperative we get him power play time. Fitzgerald's not really a good fit for this power play line, actually, so I could take out Fitzgerald for Valachevic instead. Or I could give Berehowski the second unit. Yeah, I'll give Berehowski the second unit, and we'll put somebody else here where Berehowski is. So, Who wants to go on the other power play? Valacheva could be the best probably option, right? Or we could put Mike Watt on there just for fun. You know what? We're going to try and get Mike Watt a lot of growth as well, so let's give him some power play time. We will probably, though, put... Who's the best shooter on this? 3.5 star. Greg Johnson's a good face-off guy, so I want to keep him there. They're all really similar in terms of shooting, so... Let's get Nagy on the point. And then Hartnell can play on the left side. Watt can play on the right side. Unless, wait, how's Greg Johnson face-off wise, did we say? 79, yeah, he'll be down the middle. Yeah, we'll use Nagy as a point guy. So hopefully he can score some goals. Okay, so that readjusts our power play a little bit. Gonna take Berehowski off this one as well here. And move Nagy to the point. We'll get Hartnell on this unit. And then Berehowski will be on the point on the second unit. Just want to make sure the young guys get as much of an opportunity as possible here. So we'll put Yachmenev over here. We'll take Hartnell off this. We will put Berehowski on here. And then we'll take Fitzgerald off this one and throw in David Legwand. There you go. It has a -3, but that's okay. And then penalty kill wise, Fitzgerald, Bordelot. Yeah, the rest of this looks okay. I don't know why they have Peltonen as a center on a unit, so I think what I'm going to do instead, Fitzgerald's going to be here. We're going to put Peltonen on the first unit. Bordelot will be on the second unit as the center, just so that way we actually have guys that can take face-offs. So Peltonen was out, so we want Bordelot in here. Yeah, there you go. That looks better. All right. We are set up, I think, and ready to go. Yep, perfect. I don't know why Vela Peltonen's still taking face-offs, but whatever. Okay, so we are ready, I think, to start up year number 2. Let me just check on the AHL here quickly. Make sure nobody's scratched that shouldn't be. Okay, that's good. Goalies is good. Let's just make sure everybody's in the right spots based on potential here. Okay, so the third line obviously doesn't matter, or fourth line doesn't matter, I mean. Yeah, okay, that's good. Our top potential guys are in the right spots, so we are ready to start up the 2001 season. Should be exciting to see what ends up happening. We will probably simulate to December the 1st. I think that's a good chunk of simulation to do in one episode. And then the episode afterwards, we could simulate to a day before the deadline. Episode afterwards is the deadline and the rest of the season. I think that's a good move for our team. So let's simulate through this preseason. We only got 3 preseason games as we did last year. Let's see how we do in them. We shouldn't be that great of a team, but then again, the additions of like Ladislav Nagy and stuff like that could make our team better than expected. So we go 1-1-1 in the preseason, or yeah, 1-1-0-1. I don't even see what it said, but whatever. Doesn't really matter too much. But our first game of the 01 season is against the Chicago Blackhawks, of course. And then we play Ottawa. Then we're back on home ice for 2 games. Okay. A lot of games against Detroit early in the season, which is going to be definitely tough for our team, considering Detroit should be really good still. Like, they should have brought in some decent players as well, not lost a whole lot. But let's go to the end of October, see how we do in the first month of action. And like I said, we'll go probably to December the 1st. Hopefully, at least our young guys do decent. That's all I'm hoping for. Like, obviously, I don't want to make the playoffs, but if our young guys are doing decent, that will at least look positive going into future years. And we're off to a pretty bad start here. But we did just win 2 games in a row now, 3 games in a row, as Yachmenev has injured his ribs. Not great. We'll replace him. And at the end of the first month, we are going to be 6-7-1-1. So we started off on a little bit of a sluggish play. Like, we lost 5-6 straight games. And since then, though, we've had points in multiple games in a row. And other than this OT loss, I guess I should say. But kind of a weird start to the season. We are currently 2nd place in the Central Division. The Blackhawks are well below us, so that's not great. Same as St. Louis, so I don't know why St. Louis fell off. Considering last season when we looked at the roster with Cliff Ronning, it was pretty damn good. The Red Wings are above us by 3 points only. Now, the one thing is we have played more games than any team in our division at this stage, so we got to take that into account. All right, let's go another month of simulation to December the 1st. And let's see how our team does in this month. We have 3 games against St. Louis this month, so the schedule's a little bit whack, but it is what it is. Let's see if we could fall off a little bit, because obviously I don't really want to make the playoffs, but if our younger guys somehow get us into the playoffs, it's not the worst scenario in the world. But our team shouldn't be a good team, technically, on paper. But you never know. Never know. And hopefully, like I said, Nagy continues to play a decent role in terms of the future of this team, because I think he could definitely make our team simulate better than expected if he has the offensive capability. Oh my goodness, we're above 500 right now. See, this is why we're not going to simulate too much, because obviously we could offload some things so we could fall off a decent chunk in the second half. And how are we now? 12, 13, and 1-1. Really weird record. We are currently now second worst in our division, only 5 points up on the Blackhawks with 1 game in hand. So technically the Blackhawks are definitely one of the worst teams in the league, I think, at this stage. I'm curious where we are in terms of the entire league, though. So let's take a look at some stats here and see what's going good for this team and what isn't. So we'll take a quick look at the standings here briefly, how we are doing at December 1st. So if we go to the entire league at the moment, where are we? Where are we? So the Islanders are dead last, which makes sense. The Canucks are still bad. Jeez, the Canucks are so bad. Why are they simulating this bad, man? The Islanders, though, oh my god. Yeah, that's Mike Milbury for you. He's probably making some really weird decisions. Carolina, Calgary, Chicago. We are currently 16th in the entire league. So we are kind of doing better than expected, which is not great. So we need to definitely slow our play a little bit if possible. Because if we go to the Western Conference here, where are we in the Western Conference? We are currently in a playoff spot at the moment, 7th in the West. Now there is teams that have played less games than us that are close to us in the standings, so we could easily get bumped out by like the Los Angeles Kings. Let's go back to the entire league for a second and to see where we're finishing so far in terms of goals for and all that. Goals for per game wise, where are we? We're one of the worst offensive teams. Okay, that makes sense. Goals against per game wise, are we doing better goalie wise than expected? Kind of mid-table, kind of average. Power play percentage. Our power play is number 2, so our special teams might be doing better than expected. At least our power play is, not our penalty kill, looks like. Yeah, our penalty kill is one of the worst, but our power play has been helping out our offense a little bit too much. But that's also kind of good because the young guys are on the power play. 5-9-1 in our last, or on our home games, I should say. 7-4-0. So, oh my goodness, I'm not used to saying 4 numbers. 7-4-0-1 on the road. 4-6-0 in our last 10. All right. Let's take a look at what has been going on with the power play and the player stats so far. What the hell? Oh my goodness. Mike Watt has 22 points in 27 games. I don't even think that's feasible. Mike Watt in real life would never have done that. Let me take a look at Mike Watt's career numbers here quickly. That is kind of ridiculous. I don't know why he's simulating this good. Maybe it's because of the power play. I guess he does have 7 power play points, including 5 goals. But Mike Watt in his career only had 41 career points in 157 games. His best season was a 25-point season in 98-99, so technically the year 2 years before this. Huh. That is strange. So Mike Watt is apparently a really good player. His trade value is definitely going to go up because of that. I don't know why he's simulating that good, but I'll take it. He's out-simulating Greg Johnson and better defensively, too. Because Greg Johnson's a minus 12 through 27 games. Legwand with 15 points. Legwand's off to a better start this year than last year. Could be the power play that's helping him out. But 24 points last year, 15 already. David Legwand's going to have a career, I think. Fitzgerald on 13 points, not bad. Bordelot on 11. So our depth scoring looks okay. Even though nobody's a point per game on this team. Andreas Johnsson has 23 points, so he's coming around quite a bit. Starting to fit in with this roster. 9 power play points, so the power play is definitely helping with those offensive numbers. Peltonen 17 points. Yachmanov 15 points. Only 1 goal in 24 games. Wow. I knew he was more of a passer, but damn. He had 17 goals last season, but this season he's not really on pace for even close to that, I think. Scott Hartnell so far 14 points in his first 27 games, so off to a good start. 3 goals only. but still, I'll take 14 points. Most of them are power play points, though, too. Ladislav Nagy on 13 points and a minus 15. Yikes, that top line's getting shredded a bit. But at least our young guys are producing a little bit. And then Cote had 1 goal in 3 games. Only 2 penalty minutes, which is kind of surprising. Right wing wise, Walker on 17 points, minus 11, and Valchevic 9 points in 27 games. So even though our team is in the playoff spot at the moment, we do not have great plus minus on our forward group. Peltonen, Legwand, Watt have been the only plus players. There's Cote as well, who's played 3 games. But yeah, we have some plus minus issues, which means our team should fall off hypothetically. It should. Defensively, Berehowski's on 13 points. Timonen is on 11. Skrashton's on 4 assists and even 0. Lindner's on 3 points plus 4. Mander. Oh my goodness, I'm kind of scrambled today for some reason. Could be because I ate scrambled eggs, but who knows. Mander on 3 assists plus 3. So a couple of guys on the plus department on the defense is nice. And Rory Fitzpatrick is kind of struggling. 2 goals, which is nice, but minus 8. Okay. Goaltending wise, wow, Chris Mason's been a cheat code. Holy crap, man. Thomas Vokoun, on the other hand, hasn't been super great, in 892 with a 3.24 goals against. But Chris Mason has been really good, considering he's only a 78 overall. Like, he's already got a shutout in 4 games. So Chris Mason might have a decent rookie season, which is kind of unexpected. So shout out to Chris Mason. Let's take a look at stats around the league. I don't think I'm going to look at the trading block in this episode because I don't know if we'll make any trades next episode. But let's just take a look at what everybody's doing around the league at the moment. So Medano on 37 points leads the league right now. Then it's Alexei Yashin, who must have got a good extension by Ottawa. Yep, Ottawa did re-sign him on a 7-year extension. Interesting, so a little bit of a change in history there. Lindros on 36 points. Sean McEachern also up there. Joe Nieuwendyk, Keith Tkachuk, Jaromir Jagr, Freddie Modine, and Victor Kozlov. Best goal scorer so far this season is Keith Tkachuk with 22. Sakic and Yashin right behind him with 21. And then you have Jagr, Bure, Lindros, and Bondra up there with 20. Damn, okay. So that's interesting. Let's take a look at the top defenders currently. Right now, Teppo Numminen leading the league with 26 points and a plus 19. So Phoenix continues to do well. Tverdovsky up there as well, but not as good defensively. Gary Suter, Rob Blake, Sergei Zubov in his first season in Pittsburgh. Steve Duchesne, Boris Mironov, Gord Murphy. Why is Gord Murphy up there? That's a weird one. And then Phil Housley. Goaltending wise, the best goalie so far in terms of wins. Holy crap! Nikolai Heavy-Bullen's a crackhead in this friggin' series. Last year he was doing really well, and this year he's off to a 17-3 record. Will he have a bad playoffs again? Probably, but shout out to Habibulin. Brodeur's also really good. 16-1-2 is Martin Brodeur. Jeez. Some of these goalies are insane right now. What the heck? Urbe's already got 3 shutouts. Same with Kolzig and Cloutier. Save percentage wise, Brodeur's got a 927 save percentage also over those 23 games. Unreal. Unreal. That Devils team is so good defensively right now. Just like in real life. Yeah, Brodeur's killing it. Absolutely killing it. Has the goalie scored a goal yet? Curiosity wise, nope. Most goalie assists so far is Habibulin. Okay. And rookie-wise, let's take a look at the rookie race. Mike Watt is currently up there for the Calder. And next to him is Jason Weimer, of all people. Which is really weird. Brad Richards is playing in his rookie season, so that's kind of neat. So shout out to Brad Richards. Scott Hartnell up there as well. Ladislav Nagy for us. Marian Gabourik's not off to that great of a start. He does have 8 goals, though. Chris Clark is a rookie, apparently. Daniel Sedin was signed by the Canucks because he was an unsigned prospect of theirs. He's in his rookie season. I don't think Henrik's playing, though, in the NHL, apparently. Oh, no, he is. Henrik's just not doing too well. But Daniel's doing a little bit better. Oh, well. Any rookie goalies? Obviously, Vokoun is not technically a rookie. Nabokov was already playing, I think. Yeah, I don't know any of these guys are rookies, technically. Maybe Pasi Nurminen because he was a free agent. Marty Turco technically would be a rookie, I think. Huh. All right. So there is that, and I think that's almost it. I do want to see how good the AHL team's doing in terms of simulation right now. Hey, they're first place in the New England division. 13-9-4 at the moment. Jan Vopot leading away with 25 points in 27 games. Maybe he should come up as a depth defenseman. We shouldn't send Rory Fitzpatrick down. I don't know. Huh, that's interesting. I guess I could show you guys actually the draft class for this year and stuff like that too, because that's also pretty interesting. So let me show you guys what the 2001 draft class is looking like. So top prospect, Ilya Kovalchuk, or should I say Kovalchuk, because I think that's what they called him like back in those days. He's similar stylist to Vlad Tarasenko. That's actually kind of funny. A couple generated guys up there as well. Jason Spezza, of course. We got Ales Hemsky as well at this spot. Similar to Jonathan Marchessault, so interesting. UC Jokinen's up there. Some more generated. Mikko Koivu. Like you can see, this is another solid draft class. Like some decent players that we could build around down the road. It does drop off considerably, though. Like P.A. Parento and whatnot. Best goaltenders in the draft is all generated except for Pascal Leclerc, Ray Emery, Mike Smith, Jonas Hiller, those type of guys. So apparently there's another Sedin coming. So the Sedin twins have a younger brother that's only a couple years younger. And it'd be interesting if Vancouver drafts this generated guy just because of that. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Nashville Predators Throwback 2000 franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll continue to simulate through the season. We'll probably simulate to a day before the deadline. Hopefully our team starts to fall off a little bit more. Like, I know we're not playing that good of hockey, but we're still in a spot where we're kind of contending for a playoff spot. So I hope that we drop off a bit so we could fire sell players that we don't need for this team in the future and maybe promote some guys from the AHL like Dennis Archipov, for example. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.